Mitrom and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps. South Asia Maps is an intellectual Kshatriya's channel, education channel. And this is your presenter, Dr. Reddy. This is our Human Ecology Predicament Series, Part 130. Human ecology is the humans on the planet Earth. We are 8 billions today, 8,000 millions as of 2024 January. That means 800 crores on the planet Earth. There is a predicament, there is ecological predicament, that is ecological impasse. We are more now and aspiring for more resources, affluent lifestyles. Our resources are declining. That is our predicament. So in this series, I will cover broad range of topics. Here, I have put a subtitle here that is called, I will put in certain important laws or sayings of prominent discoverers or personalities, their findings, their discoveries. In a broader sense, they may not be some exactly laws. That's why I put a broader term. You can say what they say about certain things, how that influences our life. I will gather a couple of topics based upon my understanding and put those things how they mold our lives on the planet Earth. So today's topic of discussion is a very fascinating topic that covers many facets of our social life. That is a tragedy of commons. Tragedy of commons. It was articulated by Professor Garrett Hardin. And after this presentation, you will know what it is exactly. That is part 130 of our Human Ecology Predicament series. So, this is our Human Ecology series. We are covering part 130 among certain laws. Garrett's law, Garrett Hardin's law, Professor Garrett Hardin, a popular human ecologist or ecologist, he is prominent saying or finding tragedy of commons. And before that, I have presented very diverse topics on human ecology. You can see from 125 to 91 here. Before that, I had other lot of presentations on human ecology, 64 to almost 90 here, and other human ecology, mostly population aspects here. I posted already at our YouTube channel, and also that presentations, the initial presentation that gives a broader, deeper understanding of what we are talking, carrying capacity, takeover, drawdown, new world, old world, and how to handle the our predicament, realism, cargoism, cosmetism, cynicism, ostracism, and so on. So varied, diverse topics I covered. You can look at it. And I have posted all of them, these diverse Indology specific topics, as well as human ecology topics at our YouTube channel. You can go and look at them at your leisure, and I have put them into 35 or so playlists, so you can pick and choose the appropriate topic of interest of your choice. That is South Asia Maps JRD YouTube channel. This video is recorded round about January 2024. We already have 491 or so postings for you. Coming to tragedy of commons. Commons is a term that is used in England, nothing but a grazing area or a open area where a people can let their cows or cattle go graze and come back. That is the commons. So you have a area here. In the United States, this is something like a open ranch in the earlier days of the frontier times of so on. So you say in sometimes in India they say it's a Parambok land or something, a forest land or a grazing land. open land. That is the commons. Finite resource. That is in a broader sense, commons is a finite resource. The resource that is finite, pasture is finite. So this is a commons, a range land or pasture land where you can put, let's say, 9 cows. Every day you let these 9 cows, cattle go and come back in the evening go. Let's say each one gives 1 unit of milk. You will get, that village people will get 9 units of milk. The process will continue forever if you maintain the same pace. Let's say one intelligent person, they thought, instead of letting 1 cow go, he brought three and a half or something like that. He lets them go. Still, he will get, let's say, instead of 3 more units of milk, he lets say 3.5, 3 units of milk. Roughly about he makes 4 units of milk. But that comes at the cost of the neighbors, because now this cattle graze and this will give the little milk. Little milk. More cows added to commons will overall reduce the yield of the return from the individual cow for the other owners, because this pasture land is finite. It has only limited amount of the grazing land and pastures. So this is the tragedy if you let more cattle or cow in this commons. Actually, the Professor Garrett, who was retired as a human ecologist, he lived from 1915 to 2003, and he was the professor at UC Santa Barbara, University of California, Santa Barbara. He was the professor of human ecology. Commons is a grazing land in the medieval England. It was taken into the concept of ecology and social sciences now. Actually, this concept in a primitive form, precursor form, was actually articulated by William Foster Lloyd around about 1833. Garrett Hardin took it further and published a paper in 1968 where this got more recognition and become very popular. That means, what is the commons in the modern times? In modern times, the commons is a land, forests are commons, the coal pits are commons, the oil wells are commons, natural gas wells are commons, water aquifers are commons, oceans are commons, air is common, public treasuries are common, and so on. All these are commons. These are the finite resources. Common means a pasture, a finite resource. This is the image of Professor Garrett Hardin. You can go and look at this. So, Professor Garrett Hardin, American ecologist and microbiologist, known for human overpopulation. He was born in Dallas, Texas, in southern part of United States, around about 1950, just when the World War One was in progress, and passed away at the ripe age of 88 years in Santa Barbara, California, and the Pacific Coast. His alma mater studied at University of Chicago and Stanford University, and is known for Tragedy of Commons essay. That is part of his scientific career, and this is the paper he published, for which he is well known for, in the Science magazine. That is a very popular magazine, 1968. Tragedy of Commons. The population problem has no technical solution, and it required a fundamental extensions in morality. It was authored by Professor Garrett Hardin and published in 1968 December in the Science magazine. So that's the popular picture you see, tragedy, the commons. It is the resource, a finite resource. In our case, grazing land, certain cows grazing, and more cows added gives the diminishing returns. What happens? How do you put this entire context? This is the limited planet of limited size. From this round, the diameter is round about 12 to 13, around about 13,000 or so kilometers. That is the diameter. That means it is a limited surface area. That means the ocean body is 360 units, land surface is 150 units. 360, 150 is around about 510 million square kilometers limited area. What does it mean? If you are putting more and more people, there will be more and more problems on the planet Earth, because the Earth is a commons. It is a limited in resources, water, fertile soils, and so on. Limited in coal, limited in iron, aluminum, and so on. Oceans are commons. Oceans have fish, you start overfishing the oceans, the returns will be less and less. Modern like technology makes the previously only people with little boats go and fish near their country's territorial borders. Now the mechanized boats can go deep interior fish, and so that the fish and whales so on, they will give less and less eggs, the yields will be less. So oceans are commons. Air is a common. Why air is a common? Because you put more and more automobiles and pump more and more waste products and carbon dioxide and so on, that pollutes the atmosphere, gives the people a lot of breathing. In around the Delhi, there is a problem of stubble, the burning of the leftover of the crops after harvested, so that there is less time and they want to grow the crops plant immediately. So stubble burning gives a lot of issues surrounding area, metropolitan area of Delhi and so. Air is a common, ocean is a common, water aquifers are common. If you build a house and start digging more and more and extracting the water, you deplete the water resources. You go and establish a soft water drinking plants and producing the Coca-Cola and all those things. Eventually, you deprive all the aquifers and so on. Aquifers are commons. Oceans are commons. Air is common. Even public treasury is common. So the land is common entire. So in that sense, the concept of tragedy of commons plays a very, very vital role in our life. That's why I brought this concept that have profound implications on our daily life. That is about commons. Commons is a finite resource, limited resource. When you say commons, remember this rectangle, that is the pasture land, grazing land. The tragedy comes when you start sending more and more cattle and cows to graze in that land. Adding more cows is a tragedy to the commons. Thank you very much. This is your presenter, Dr. Reddy. And if you like the presentations, you can subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends. And see you later in other presentation.